Hello and welcome to Richland Spotlight, an ongoing interview program where we talk with city staff and shine a light on programs, projects, and events happening here in our city. Today I'm happy to bring on our program Richland Police Chief Chris Skinner. Welcome, Chief. Thanks for joining us
Thanks,
today.
Mike. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, we were just talking a second ago, and you have actually been here for 6 years, took the reins of Richland Police Chief 6 years ago. And one of your missions you've had as police chief is to have the citizens take ownership of their police department. And so we're here talking about another event that basically provides a way for citizens to have dialogue with the police department, and that is Coffee with a Cop. Tell me, what is this event?
Well, it's a real opportunity for us to kind of engage with the community, and we look for those types of opportunities, and we recognize that oftentimes our interface with the community is on the sometimes the back end of enforcement action or some behavior that needs to be changed, and it's not always as positive for people as they would like it to be. And so what we try to do is provide some opportunity for us to come together, law enforcement and our community here in Richland, to have just great dialogue, get to know each other, let my officers be seen for the personality that they have, let the organization be seen for the personality it has, and understand that the way we've built the Richland Police Department is really centered around what this community has asked us to do. When I got here 6 years ago, I think we actually had a conversation, and I said, you know, I'm going to let this community. We're going to build a law enforcement culture here that meets the community needs, not ask the community to meet our law enforcement cultural needs. And I think we've done a really nice job doing that. And Coffee with a Cop is another way for us to get feedback to see if we're doing the right thing. Gives the community opportunities to give us that affirmation or to ask us to go in a little bit of a different direction, and just have some dialogue about maybe some tough issues that are going on today.
So it's a chance for them to go out and see a police officer in an informal thing. So why is this visual presence and the overall visual presence that you've tried to establish with your police officers important for our community?
Well, I think it's important for a variety of reasons, and maybe the most important reason is to understand what our mission is and what our role is, which is safety and service in this community. There's a lot of people that don't necessarily understand what our core mission is and how we accomplish that and how they can help us accomplish that. That's really a big piece of that dialogue, is helping citizens identify what is their role in helping us to create a safe and livable community and buying into that role. So we like to do that. The other thing too, and I'm not I'm not so naive as to believe that, you know, law enforcement's had a really tough go of it the last couple of years. And in some cases, rightfully so. We know that here in the Richland Police Department, we want to have a great relationship with our community with strong levels of trust, because in the event we have one of those bad days, in the event that we have a situation that really turns for the worse, we want to have a community that gives us the benefit of the doubt, that understands who we are, knows that we do the right things for the right reasons, and so they take a step back and wait and see before they rush to judgment or jump to conclusions. So we make those deposits in the trust bank every chance we get, understanding that someday we may need to make that withdrawal.
So you talked about citizens being involved. Tell me a little bit about things they can do, things simple as when we talk about, you know, locking doors and garages and maybe even the VIPs.
Yeah, so we have a lot of volunteers within our organization that really help us accomplish our mission. Without those VIPs, the volunteers and police services, we couldn't do some of the things we do. And part of what that is designed to do is as they handle some of those collateral duties, it allows my officers to stay focused on what they should be focused on, which is being in our neighborhoods, being in our school zones, being in our business districts, helping to identify and deter criminal behavior. That really is what we're trying to accomplish here. Those VIPs do a great job of giving us the ability to do that. You know, for 6 years, it feels like I've been beating this drum about what the community can do to kind of come alongside of us, aside from being our eyes and ears and actually calling us when they have information, which we always ask them to do, is recognizing that part of their role is to harden the target for these criminals that come into our town. We share criminals with Kennewick and Pasco, West Richland, Prosser. I mean, they know no boundaries. Even though we know our boundaries, they know no boundaries. So we ask our community members to remember to lock their cars. You know, I think I mentioned in council meeting the other night, we're still seeing 75% of all of our cars that are being broken into are unlocked vehicles. And it makes it very easy for somebody to go into our nice neighborhoods or to go into a parking lot while you're shopping at Walmart or Target and just check to see if your car door is unlocked. And by just locking the cars, it might be just enough of a deterrent to keep you from being victimized. And so we ask people to just be mindful of that and lock their car doors.
You know, it's almost a catch-22 for you in the sense that citizens feel safe with their community. Since they feel safe, it's like, well, I don't need to lock my door.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, it's like, I really, really, really appreciate the fact that you feel like this is such a safe community. We take that very, very personal, and we take that with a sense of pride, that you feel so safe that you can leave your front door unlocked, your garage doors open, and your car doors unlocked. However,
yes.
however, I can't vouch for that 3 to 4% of criminal element that runs around looking for great victims to victimize. And they have a tendency to kind of come into Richland, as they do in the other communities, but we have our fair share here in Richland. And so let's err on the side of caution and lock those car doors.
There you go. So this is going to be your third Coffee with a Cop event. What have you taken away from the previous ones? What kind of trends or things that you may not have been aware of that citizens have helped you discover?
So the Coffee with a Cop has been really, really fun for us, fun for me and my command staff and my district officers. We've been around the city and we've tried to hit different pockets in the city so that people can get to us easily. We don't ask them to kind of go out of their way. We want to have it locally. And we started off doing some of the local businesses. Barracuda was, I think, my first one. And we went out to Share House. We've been out to Country Mercantile. This one's going to be up on George Washington Way, 1750 George Washington Way, right up by the Safeway, McMurray and George Washington Way. And what we found through that dialogue is not only do we get a chance to know people and put faces with names and just have people come and tell us, thank you. We get a lot of just, thank you for what you do. And I so appreciate those kind words. But we do hear where there are some neighborhoods that are in crisis, or people are feeling a little bit of the pain points of some of our neighborhoods that are having a tough time with dilapidated buildings or some criminal activity that's going on, some houses maybe that are seeing a lot of in and out traffic, and we know exactly what that means. They bring that, they get that on our radar screen, we take those notes, we take it back, and we kind of formulate a game plan to address some of those needs. And I think one of my most, the most important opportunity we have there is just to engage in dialogue and subject matter that maybe otherwise doesn't get discussed. Right now, one of the things that I would expect would be discussed would be maybe what's my stance, or what's the police department's stance on immigration enforcement. What's your stance on some of the use of force situations we're seeing around the country with law enforcement? It gives us a chance to kind of tell from our perspective what we believe to be important for the city of Richland, and what I see kind of coming around the corner in the law enforcement industry. And that's really a big part of my job, is kind of looking around the corner, what's coming our way, what do we need to be prepared for? And it gives me a chance to kind of discuss those things, and really almost like a dry run of being able to do some visioning with community members. So I really appreciate that.
Very good. Well, I appreciate you talking about that. And so instead of come for the coffee and stay for the conversation, this is going to be come for the cops and stay for the conversation. I'd like to thank Richland Police Chief Chris Skinner for coming on the program to promote the upcoming Coffee with a Cop. This is scheduled for Tuesday, March 8th. At 11:30 to 1:30 p.m. and that is at the Starbucks on George Washington Way in the Safeway Plaza. So if you'd like more information on the programs, projects, or events that are happening in our city, just visit the webpage at the bottom of your screen. And if you're not following us on social media, I strongly encourage you to like us and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm Michael Charbonneau, and I thank you for watching this edition of Richland Spotlight.